Hello there, Theo Roach with Oasis Clinical Care Management. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel called Oasis Clinical Corner. Um, those who are returning, I would like to say welcome back. Those who are here for the first time, I would like to say welcome to you as well. What you want to do though, you want to hit the subscribe button along with the bell at the top so you'll be notified of various videos as they release and different things like that. Um, the purpose of this channel is to really provide a lot of information about clinical mental health diagnosis in general. And then also at the same time, we may talk about specific subjects I'm very passionate about and have a special interest in, I guess, is working with athletes as a sports psychologist. I do a lot of that. And so, definitely I would encourage you if you have specific questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. And hopefully we can have some candid discussion about some of the things that, you have questions about as a parent or coach even. Um, what I want to talk about today, though, has a lot to do with again, this is related to anxiety, but more so as it relates to athletics. Um, Specifically, I want to talk about competition. And I realized as an athlete myself, and also as a coach, a lot of young people don't know how to compete, and so that makes it very difficult and very frustrating for a coach. Say, for example, or a parent, don't have to be a coach, it could be a parent who may be a little bit more on the competitive side of things, but at the same time, their team is not performing up to its capability, and that makes it very difficult, make it very frustrating. I've been on both ends. I've, coached teams who've been very successful, and I've coached teams that was not so successful. So I've been there, and I've also played on teams, but more so in college, in high school, I was kind of spoiled. We very rarely, competition was not a problem because we only had one in high school, and so as a result, it was super competitive, and we were just in the city in the area. I wouldn't say a city because it wasn't a city; it was like a town, but it was very competitive. So you couldn't afford to get hurt. If you got hurt or injured, guess what? You didn't play on Friday nights. Your backup was playing, and you may not get your position back. So it was very competitive in that sense. But to be honest with you, a lot of athletes don't know how to compete. They always looking over their shoulder, or they always looking at like, you know, the person behind them, their backup, to kind of get competition, but to be in motivation. But the thing I always say, and I always emphasize to all of my athletes, is that when it comes to competition, you want to compete against yourself, not the next guy, because I mean that could vary. A lot of variables come into that. Um, like for example, the coach may like him more, or he may come from a family situation that have more um, resources, if you will, and so therefore, those things can come into play. So just to be on the safe side, is always advisable. It's advice I always give my athletes to make sure you're doing the best that you can. Compete against yourself. And so that's the best advice that I typically give athletes, because when you do that, not only do you push yourself, but also you push the competition. And so, that saying, be the best that you can be definitely sums it up. You definitely want to compete against yourself. And so that's the reason why I say, and not only, I'm not talking about just from a clinical perspective, but as a former athlete myself, coming from this perspective of an athlete, is that you definitely want to learn how to compete because sometimes it could be very frustrating. And also, too, it could create a very hostile environment. And so that may be somewhat discouraging to the athlete. So that's a topic for another conversation in terms of environment and, that kind of thing, because I've seen, coaches who didn't really facilitate that. And so that was very detrimental, if you will, to the athlete. So my words of wisdom is to really learn how to compete, but more so you want to compete against yourself. Really push yourself beyond measure because at the end of the day, guess what? You have to look in the mirror and you know whether or not you gave it your all. So, that's all I had today. Definitely, I encourage you as a parent, as an athlete, to get in contact with me so we can have some discussion about, sports psychology, different things from a performance standpoint, where mental uh, challenges may get in the way of that or whatever. So definitely feel free to get in contact with me. Feel free to be in contact with my clinic. We can definitely assist you. And also, we provide a lot of general mental health counseling and therapy as well. So definitely feel free to be in contact with us. I'm almost sure that we can certainly meet your needs. Until the next time, I would like to say so long. Definitely feel free. Oasis Clinical Corner, hit the subscribe button. We would like to definitely be in contact with you and provide you with a wealth of information. Until next time, continue to better your best.